Alia lived in a small village. It was a quaint and picturesque place where the houses were made of stone and wood, and the roofs were thatched with straw. The village was always bustling with activity, yet it maintained a serene and peaceful atmosphere. It was nestled between rolling hills. These hills were covered in lush green grass and dotted with colorful wildflowers. The hills provided a natural barrier, making the village feel like a hidden gem protected from the outside world. Alia lived with her grandmother. Her grandmother was a kind and gentle soul, always ready with a warm hug and a wise word. She had a wealth of knowledge about the village and its surroundings, which she loved to share with Alia. Her grandmother was very old and wise. She had lived in the village all her life and had seen many changes over the years. She knew the history of every house and every family, and she was respected by everyone in the village. Life was simple in the village. People worked hard, they helped each other. The villagers were like one big family, always ready to lend a hand or share a meal. Alia loved her village. She loved the sense of community and the feeling of belonging. She felt safe and loved. The villagers treated her like their own child, and she never felt alone. There was always someone to talk to, someone to play with, and someone to learn from. Alia was a curious girl. She had a thirst for knowledge and a desire to explore. She was always asking questions and seeking out new experiences. Her curiosity often led her on adventures, both within the village and beyond. She loved to explore the nearby forest. The forest was a magical place, full of tall trees, chirping birds, and scurrying animals. Alia would spend hours wandering through the forest, discovering new plants and animals, and imagining all sorts of fantastical stories. She collected herbs and flowers with her grandmother. Her grandmother taught her about the different plants and their uses. They would gather herbs for cooking and flowers for making beautiful bouquets. These moments were special to Alia, as they were filled with laughter, learning, and love. Alia's parents were gone. The house felt empty and cold without their presence. Every corner of the home echoed with memories of laughter, warmth, and love that once filled the air. Alia often found herself staring at the pictures of her parents, her heart heavy with longing and sorrow. She missed them very much. The pain of their absence was a constant ache in her chest. She would often sit by the window, tears streaming down her face, clutching a photo of her parents. The nights were the hardest, as the silence of the house reminded her of the stories her mother used to tell and the songs her father used to sing. Her mother had been a healer. She was known far and wide for her knowledge of medicinal plants and her gentle, caring nature. People from neighboring villages would come to seek her help, and she never turned anyone away. Her mother's hands were always busy, whether it was preparing a remedy or comforting a sick child. She used plants and herbs to help people. Alia remembered the countless times she accompanied her mother into the forest to gather herbs. Her mother would explain the properties of each plant, teaching Alia the secrets of nature's pharmacy. The kitchen was always filled with the scent of drying herbs and the sound of her mother's soft humming as she worked. Alia remembered her mother's gentle touch. Her mother's hands were always warm and comforting, whether she was tending to a wound or simply caressing Alia's cheek. Those hands had a magic of their own, capable of soothing pain and bringing comfort. Alia often closed her eyes, trying to recall the exact feel of her mother's touch. She remembered her mother's soothing voice. Her mother's voice was like a balm to her soul, soft and melodic. It was the voice that read her bedtime stories, sang lullabies, and whispered words of encouragement. Even now, Alia could almost hear her mother's voice in the rustling of the leaves and the chirping of the birds. Alia wanted to be a healer too. She wanted to carry on her mother's legacy and help people in need. She spent hours studying the books her mother left behind, learning about the different herbs and their uses. She practiced making remedies, just as her mother had taught her, determined to master the art of healing. Alia knew it wouldn't be easy. The path to becoming a healer was filled with challenges and hard work. There were times when she felt overwhelmed and doubted her abilities, but she remembered her mother's words, "With determination and hard work, you can achieve anything." Those words became her mantra, pushing her to keep going even when things got tough. She would have to work hard, but Alia was determined. She spent every waking moment learning and practicing, driven by the desire to make her mother proud. She knew that the road ahead was long and arduous, but she was ready to face it head on. Her mother's spirit was her guiding light, giving her the strength to persevere. She wanted to help people like her mother did. Alia's heart was filled with a deep desire to bring comfort and healing to those in need. She dreamed of the day when she would be able to help others just as her mother had. And she knew that with hard work, dedication, and the memory of her mother's love, she would one day become a healer worthy of her mother's legacy. One day, a terrible illness struck the village. People became very sick, many were bedridden. Fear spread through the village. Alia's grandmother also fell ill. Alia was scared. She had to help her grandmother. She also wanted to help her village. Alia remembered her mother's teachings. She remembered the herbs and plants. Alia knew what she had to do. Alia went into the forest. She searched for the herbs her mother used. She remembered what her mother taught her. Alia worked tirelessly. She made remedies from the plants. She gave them to the sick villagers. Slowly, people started to get better. Alia's grandmother also recovered. The village was amazed by Alia. Section 5. The journey to Master Darien. Word of Alia's healing spread. It reached a renowned healer, Master Darien. He lived far away. Master Darien was impressed with Alia. He offered to take her as his student. Alia was overjoyed. Alia said goodbye to her grandmother. She promised to return as a skilled healer. Alia set off on a journey to Master Darien. Section 6. Learning from Master Darien. Master Darien welcomed Alia warmly. He had a small group of students. They came from wealthy families. Alia was different. She was from a humble village, but she was eager to learn. Master Darien taught Alia about herbs and potions. He taught her about the human body. Alia learned everything quickly. Section 7. Prejudice and Perseverance. Some students were unkind to Alia. They made fun of her simple clothes. They were jealous of her skills. Alia was hurt, but she remembered her purpose. She was determined to learn. She would not be discouraged. Alia focused on her studies. She worked hard. She treated everyone with kindness. She impressed Master Darien with her dedication. Years passed. Alia learned many things. She became a skilled healer. It was time for her final test. Master Darien sent his students to a distant land. A terrible epidemic had struck. It was a difficult challenge. Alia was scared, but she was also ready. She knew she could help the sick. She had to use all her knowledge. The students arrived at the land. People were suffering. The other students panicked. They were overwhelmed by the situation. But Alia remained calm. She remembered her training. She started organizing the other students. Alia's confidence and leadership were evident. She assigned tasks. She treated the sick with compassion. She inspired others to work together. Alia worked tirelessly. She used her knowledge to help the sick. She taught others what to do. Slowly, people started to recover. The epidemic was contained. The people were grateful. Alia had saved them. She had used her skills to make a difference. Alia was no longer a scared girl from a small village. She was Alia, the healer. She had found her purpose. Alia returned to her village after many years of being away. She had left as a young girl with dreams and aspirations, and now she was back, transformed into a confident and skilled healer. The village entrance, once a familiar sight, now seemed to welcome her with open arms, as if, recognizing the changes she had undergone, she was welcomed as a hero. The villagers who had watched her grow up now saw her in a new light. They cheered and applauded, their faces beaming with pride and joy. Alia had not only returned, but she had also brought with her a sense of hope and renewal that the village desperately needed. She had made her village proud. Her achievements were not just her own, they were a testament to the strength and resilience of the entire community. The smiles and claps from the villagers were not just for Alia, but for the collective spirit that had supported her journey. She had also made Master Darien proud. Her mentor, who had guided her through the complexities of healing, stood with a proud smile. Master Darien had always believed in Alia's potential, and seeing her return as a beacon of hope was a moment of fulfillment for him. Alia continued to heal people. Her skills were not just theoretical. She applied them daily, tending to the sick and injured with a gentle touch and a compassionate heart. Her presence brought comfort and relief to many, reinforcing the trust and admiration the villagers had for her. She opened her own school. Understanding the importance of passing on her knowledge, Alia established a healing school. The building, modest yet welcoming, stood as a symbol of her commitment to education and the betterment of her community. She taught others to become healers. Alia's classes were filled with eager students, each one inspired by her story and eager to learn the art of healing. She taught them not just the techniques, but also the values of empathy and compassion that were integral to being a true healer. She shared her knowledge and compassion. Alia believed that knowledge should be shared freely. She provided her students with books and scrolls, and more importantly, she shared her experiences and insights, fostering a culture of learning and mutual support. Alia's story spread far and wide. News of her achievements and her school reached distant places. People from other villages and towns began to talk about the young healer who had returned to her roots and made a significant impact. Her story became an inspiration for many. She became a symbol of hope. Alia's journey and her unwavering dedication to healing made her a beacon of hope. Her glowing aura, a metaphor for her inner strength and compassion, was admired by all who knew her story. She showed that anyone can achieve their dreams with determination and kindness. Alia's life was a testament to the power of perseverance and the impact of kindness. She proved that with determination, dreams could be realized, and with kindness, the world could be healed, one person at a time.